Alright, we've finally come to the time we're going to install a 2.5 inch lift kit on our JK Rubicon. We're going to start in the rear. That's the reason we got it back in the shop today. Follow along and we'll show you how to put it on. Once you get the tires off, first thing you got to do is take the sway bar link loose, then the shock, and finally the track mount. Once you get it up on jack stands, place your jack to support the axle as you're taking everything apart. That way the spring won't come out on you unexpected. So, take the shock loose. You got to take one bolt loose at the bottom here. Swap, get the top loose. And there's that. Alright, after you get the shock loose and out of the way, the next thing you need to do is take the sway bar end links off. You may need to get an impact because sometimes they're really hard to get loose because they're spinning in the ball joint. Alright, keep track of these sway bar end links as you take them loose. You have to reuse them on the front. This bolt's well over, probably I'd say 150 pounds or better, so I had to break out the big gun. Couldn't do it by hand. And that's that. Now just repeat the process on the other side. One thing I always do when I'm dealing with springs, these type springs, most people say you generally don't do it, but I'm a little paranoid when it comes to springs, so I always put a ratchet strap to hold them in, just in case they come out when I'm letting them down. Alright, one thing we're going to do before we let the jack down is take this one bolt loose. It'll free this brake line. That way it'll be loose when we let it down. And the other thing, just pull this holder out of the frame for the anti-lock brakes. Alright, we've got everything loose now, so we're going to ease the axle down, pull the springs out. Alright, loosen your ratchet strap, unhook it, get it out of the way, and you pull the spring out of the way. This is the new spring compared to the old spring. It's about the same height, but it's going to be a higher rate, so it's not going to compress as much when you install it. When you go to put the new spring in, you'll see where the old spring is set on the isolator. Make sure you got the clock the same when you put it back in. Just slide it up in here. Alright. Get it clocked about where you had it. Jack it up until it's on the weight of it. Alright, jack it up a little bit. Alright, then I'm going to take and check and make sure the springs are going in like they're supposed to. putting all the new pieces on and see where we get. One thing I want to let y'all know, the bolt and the ball joint for the top, although they're the same size, they have two different thread pitches. So make sure you keep the nuts to the bolt together and the nut to the upper together. Otherwise you'll have problems. Next thing to install is the new longer sway bar end links. One end uses the factory hardware and the other uses a new supplied bolt and washer and nut. So stick it in. Simple 2-bolt installation. You stick it in the bottom, slide your bolt through, start your nut. And get your new bolt, slide it through, your nut and washer, put your washer on, your nut, and you tighten it all up. Alright, that's all that tightened up. Now we'll do it on the other side. Next step is install the upper track bar drop mount. Start with, we got to take out the factory track bar, which is just this one bolt here. That out of the way. Alright, once you got the bracket in, you got to put this bushing up inside where the original bolt went. One nut and bolt here at the top. Alright, now to run both of them up and reinstall the track bar. And that's everything on this side. Next step is to install the shocks. A little trick I like to use is get one side started and hang it, then put the other bolt in to hold it up while I work on the bottom. And I'm going to do that now. That's all the bolts in. Now we just got to run them up and get them all tight. Next thing I'm going to do is install the track mount loosely in. It won't be dangling. got that on. Fixing to let the jack down and check, make sure all my brake lines and any wiring or the associated stuff is not too tight. There's two of these little captive wire loom plugs right here that's taking up slack. I just took one of them loose. It should stay out of the way fine and give us the slack we need. And I bent this brake line right here forward, probably maybe a ½ inch, and gave us probably an inch or more slack in the brake line here. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and we'll be ready to put the wheels and tires on. In the instructions it says if you're running 33-inch or smaller tires, you don't have to put the bump stops on and you'll get more flex out of it. Well, we're running a flat fender kit with higher clearance bumpers on 35s. We're not going to install these at this time and see if we can get more flex without getting into the body. If it works, great. If not, we can always come back and install these at a later date. And if it does, we'll make a video, show us putting them on and telling everything about it. Alright, we've got the inner fender out of the way. And we'll start taking the upper shock mount off. It's two 16mm bolts. Easiest way to do this, stick one on your top nut, grab your bottom nut, and start working, backing it out. The instructions say pulling the track bar off or loose may make it easier to get the springs out. It's just one bolt. I'm going to go ahead and pop it off to make it a little easier to get everything out. Alright, got the track bar loose. Now I'm going to put the jack under to support it, start taking the sway bar end links loose, and we'll get through that. We'll be able to swap to the other side and take everything loose over there. Alright, we got the jack under it. Now it's to pull the sway bar end links loose. Alright, that's all of this one. With that, we're through on this side for right now. Cross over and do the other side. Alright, got everything taken loose from the axle, so we're fixing to lower it down and take the springs out. That one. Oh. And there's that. Now just install the new ones. Alright, fix to put the new spring in. Just make sure you got it. Right here, there's a notch in this plate. Make sure you got the spring line lined up with it for the alignment. Alright, we got both springs in. Now I'll jack the axle up and start putting everything back together. Alright, here we go. Jack it back up. That side in spot. Let's check the other side here, make sure it's in spot. Alright, now to get the old sway bar links from the rear and put on the front. Alright, I'm going to reinstall the rear sway bar end links up here. Let's put them right back the way they came off. Alright, that's the last of this. Got to put the shock on. put it together and got to do the other side. We're going to go do the other side and we'll start putting the shocks together. All right? Start with dropping one of your steel washers on. And your rubber boot. Lay one of your rubber boots up there and one of your washers. Alright, that's everything on this side. Just repeat the process on the other side and we'll be ready to go. That's everything installed, the tires back on it and on the ground. Now all that's left is take it for a test drive, to take it to the alignment shop. After that, we should be through. Like and subscribe and see you next time.
1 week later.
Alright, we're out here retorquing all the bolts. It's been a week since we've installed the lift kit. I've got to the right rear corner here and I noticed a problem. Come in and I'll show you. The offset of the track bar lowering kit hits the shock and it's put a big dent in the shock. I'm going over the next couple weeks looking to buying an adjustable track bar and a new shock to put in this corner. But that's something to be aware of in our particular situation. Your install may go a little different, but that's something to be aware of and keep an eye on.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, check out our social media links in the description to keep up with our latest adventures.